to the Not Carrie Bradshaw YouTube channel. In this video, I'm recapping episode 2 of Bigger on BET. The show is available on both BET Plus. You can stream the whole first season, and it's also showing on BET Linear, meaning the channel, on Wednesdays. So, episode 2, again, I just love my little city. I miss you, Atlanta. I love you. I hope y'all get y'all shit together. First of all, Tracey is doing whatever she can to become relevant, to stay relevant. And what I hope her character comes to see is that you will get more longevity and more of an organic form of growth as an influencer if you are more of an organic person yourself. If you're just chasing the latest trends, you're gonna burn out, which is what we see her do. She starts with this ASMR thing. I still don't understand the ASMR thing. I don't understand mukbang videos. I don't really want to watch people eat, but it is a thing. It's a genre of things that people are into. I've considered doing one of those videos before, but like, I don't really want to eat on a camera. It's strange for me. Hilarious. I quite enjoy physical comedy when it's done well. So, and I will also say this made me randomly get up and go get a pickle. I love a good kosher dill pickle. Oh my gosh, a good cold kosher dill pickle. Yes. So she's doing whatever she can to try to find her place in the influencer world. And it is just, I mean, she's getting viewers, but I guess it's like, okay, well, what after this? What do you have to offer your audience? I don't know. I'm rooting for you, girl. I don't fully understand what you got going on, but we're all rooting for you. So Layne is ring shopping with Greg and getting what I'm assuming are unsolicited dick pics to her phone from Reggie, who she, you know, has not fully separated from since she's agreed to marry Greg. This just makes me so uncomfortable. I don't know if I'm triggered. I don't know. Like, this just makes me so uncomfortable. I'm not happy with Layne doing this at all, because I just feel like if you want to be out here, just be out here. You don't owe anyone anything. I'm frustrated with her friends for having like pressured her into just a marriage of safety. Like, I understand, and I've had conversations with several, you know, partnered and married people that, of course, partnership is not always fireworks, and people who are also who are always chasing the fireworks tend to be those people who are addicted to love or who are addicted to sex. If you're always just trying to go after like the beginning stage of relationships, but you don't know how to stick around for the calm parts of relationships. Like, one of the sweetest things that one of my friends says is that a huge part of being married for her has just been looking over at her husband, like when they're like watching Netflix or something, and just being like, wow, I'm so happy to just be doing absolutely nothing with him. And I get that that, you know, is a part of it, but that's not what Layne feels for Greg. She does not look at him with heart eye emojis. Like, she is just in it, I guess, for the safety or for the convenience, and I don't think that that's fair to Greg. So I really do feel a way about her kind of like stringing this man along who's obviously so in love with her, and it's very one-sided. I don't want to see that. I wouldn't be comfortable seeing it if it was the other way around either. Like, I don't like to see people get cheated on or lied to or manipulated in that way. It's just, it's triggering and awful for me. I really thought that it was funny when the sales associate was like, to the pics. And I also just want to say big ups to BET for kind of like evening out the playing field, because we had to look at naked ladies our whole lives on BET Uncut. We had to see all kinds of stuff growing up, and I'm happy that now we're seeing some full frontal, you know, male actors on this TV via BET. Like, y'all owe us, because exploit the men too at this point. I say that half jokingly. You can drop down in the comments if you have a problem with it. No dick pics, please. I will report you, and I will, don't do that to me. Like, I don't play like that. But drop down in the comments and let me know what y'all think about it. Deon is having what I think is a very typical experience of being a Black person in the workplace. for me personally, I did not grow up with parents who worked in an office. So, and I don't have a lot of friends who did. And one thing about growing up working class, our parents don't know how to prepare us for the corporate work environment. Our parents tell us work really hard and it will get you far. If you work harder than anybody else, you know, it's the Papa Pope speech that we've all gotten. You have to work twice as hard to get, you know, your foot in the door, whatever. What our parents don't prepare us for is the social aspect of being a Black person in an office when you are the only Black person or one of a few Black people, or you're a Black person who has a different Black experience from other Black people. And I know, just being from Atlanta, I have encountered very few Black people here who have the same security in their identity as a Black person as I do, because I grew up in an insulated Black community and they did not. So I've really felt for him when, you know, it's the code switching thing, and code switching is a tool of survival, and it's something that I think I do so instinctively that I don't even clock when I'm doing it. I think too, I wasn't really allowed to speak slang in the households that in which I grew up. My mom didn't let us, like, you know, relax the ends of our words and, you know, speak improper English until we got much older. So when people say code switch, I think that I was also code switching for my parents. I was code switching for my elders. Like, we were just raised that you don't talk a certain kind of way around adults. I don't know if white people are raised like that, but as a Black person, you don't talk a certain kind, my generation, you don't talk a certain kind of way around older Black people. So when people have the conversation about code switching, for me, I was not just code switching when I, you know, would go to the Atlanta Falcons had like a junior cheerleading team, and it was like the first time that I was really around white people. And because I was like, oh, I ain't never seen so many white people before. And it wasn't just, you know, that I was code switching for them. I couldn't talk like that in my household either. So it's really quite an interesting experience that I'll talk about in another video. But said that to say, our parents don't explain to us what it means to not only have to navigate the professional workspace doing really well at your job, it's also, you feel like you have to make people comfortable with your presence there. So even when he goes into the break room and has the interaction about the different like rap songs and stuff or whatever, you can see that there's that internal kind of like grappling of like, how Black do I want to be right now? And that's just something that no one really prepares you for until you get there, or at least I wasn't prepared for it until I got into the workforce. And you have to make that decision. Is it worth my career to fully just be my 100%, like the way that I would be? But for me, it's a privilege to me for me to speak to someone the way that I speak to my friends or my family. And if I don't know you like that or have that kind of rapport with you, you don't get to hear me talk the way that I talk to my friends and my family, like as an adult. That's just me. But I thought that that was really interesting. I'm, again, very interested in seeing where his character development goes and his storyline. Is he going to completely like abandon the code switching thing and just be like, I can't do this just for a promotion? I'm excited to see. Anywho, Veronica is the standard romantic avoidant personality friend. She sells a house, she gets some head, you know. Vince is like number 3 or 4, whatever, on her rotation, and you can tell that Vince actually like really does like her and really cares for her. And you know, Veronica's having this issue where like her assistant seems to be doing so much more and so much better than her in commercial real estate, where she feels like, you know, she's flourishing in residential real estate, and Vince is really trying to like encourage her and motivate her, like, you're great at what you do, don't be distracted by, you know, what your assistant has going on. And yeah, it looks like she's just not that into you. I want to know, I wonder if we'll get into why her character is like that, or maybe it doesn't need an explanation. Like, every woman is not out here just looking to be, you know, committed and in love, and that's okay. Okay, so Layne is interviewing for assistants at her job. Layne cannot focus on herself or her work because she's so distracted by these dudes. And I just will never understand how people even have the time or the energy to juggle romantic involvement with several different people. Where do you find the time? Where do you find the time? Where do you find the energy to keep up with all that? This episode got interesting too because of her interaction with the homeless guy. Living in New York, there is obviously a huge homeless population here, and interacting with homeless people is tricky because you don't want to dehumanize anyone. You don't want to avoid making eye contact or whatever. The struggle that I have, and that I have had a few times where it has actually gotten kind of scary for me, was that some homeless people are undiagnosed and untreated for certain mental illnesses, and you don't know if a person has all of their mental faculties about them. So you could be talking to someone who mentally is not even there. And I do have like is it safe to like offer this person food, or like, you know, and it's something that I have learned to kind of feel out a little bit. You know, like I've definitely done volunteer work and stuff where the program that I have worked with, they have relationships with different homeless people, so they know who they can and cannot approach. But I thought that it was really interesting, you know, seeing Layne like not want to dehumanize a person and not make eye contact with them, but you also don't want to end up in kind of a compromising situation because you don't know if that person is a safe person to interact with. And I hope I'm saying that as without being judgmental, but I did like the fact that you had this, the yoga instructor woman, you know, it's like, we don't want to, you know, interact with them too much because then their problems become our problems. And I volunteer once or twice a year and blah, blah, blah. And that's that well-intentioned neoliberal kind of bullshit that I hate. Don't treat poverty like it is a moral failure. People do not aspire to be poor. The people who aspire to be poor probably came from a lot of privilege where that was actually a choice for them. So I really, that really pissed me off what that woman said, because I do think that there are a lot of people like that who feel like, oh, well, I donate and I do this and, you know, I volunteer a couple of times out of the year. So, you know, they feel like they check off, you know, like, oh, I'm an advocate for the homeless. You're not, though. And I thought it was funny when he told Layne he made a mistake and took a shit in her sink. What? Reggie with the pop-up. Don't be popping up at this girl's place of work. And I really like this girl Liberty, who ended up getting hired. Liberty was with the shits. Liberty was like, what you ain't gonna do. I'm really excited to see more of her character. She is, I feel like, gonna be quite entertaining. I really liked her. I was really into this like distant date that Layne and Greg were doing. What I did not realize though is that Greg is a gynecologist who's bad at sex. Maybe that makes sense, but it doesn't fully make sense to me. What? But anyway, Layne definitely tried to, when Reggie did this pop-up, she tried to let Reggie know, you know, basically, like, I'm engaged to someone, and he's like, I'm a side nigga, that's cool. And she's genuinely like trying to break this off, but he's like, yeah, I don't care. Like, he's just, you know, here to get his rocks off. And hilarious. I thought that the way they did the scene was absolutely hilarious. And again, Liberty to the rescue. But I really just want her to end this relationship. Or I don't know. Part of me wants Layne to get caught. A part of me really does. So Deon goes out with his work friends to like trap karaoke. I knew where this was going. I knew where this was going when the idea was presented. I said, somebody gonna say nigger and it's gonna be awkward. What I was not expecting was that nobody in the club was gonna jump the dude, because like in Atlanta we don't let people do that. Like, that don't slide. And just seeing Deon just be so inauthentic, like he ordered a kumquat flavored IPA. First of all, I didn't even know that IPAs came in those kinds of flavors. That was news to me. I do kind of want to try it, but I will say IPAs these days tend to give me a headache. I had to take a break from them, but anyway. And then he's like, you know, I want some yak. And it's just like, why does it feel racist? Why does you saying that feel racist? I don't like it. I don't want it. And he's sitting there conflicted that this dude is really just up here saying nigga this and nigga that in this rap. And for me, I don't care if you are quoting Samuel L. Jackson. I don't care if you're quoting a Quentin Tarantino movie, including Samuel L. Jackson. If you are not black, you can't say nigga around me. You can't. Not even a question. And I'm not going to get into you about why you can't. You need to question why you want to, why you feel entitled to. That's just not even an argument that I would have. So, again, another cute episode. I'm still very excited to see where the series takes us. I think it's a really good replacement almost for the fact that we're about to be living without Insecure. Again, I'm excited to see the character development and to see people come into their own and find out if bigger is better. I kind of hope Layne gets caught by Greg, and I hope that Greg, I don't know, disavows all knowledge of her or some shit. I also want to see like if the homeless guy ends up, I wrote down his name but I can't see it. It's somewhere on here. I don't want to be like looking down for too long, but I want to see like if his character, you know, if we find out some more about his backstory. Because even when he was having this moment where he was kind of, you know, talking about himself and you know, they were humanizing the character. Then he said he took a shit in that sink, and I was like, no, who's gonna clean that up? Anywho, let me know what you guys thought about this episode, what you think about the series, what you think about code switching. Do you want Layne to get caught? Are you here for Layne being a cheater, pumpkin eater? Drop down in the comments, let me know. Be sure to share and subscribe and become a patron if you like what you saw here via my Patreon. The link is in the episode description, and I will see you guys for episode 3. Bye.